What's up, guys? Welcome to X's and O's with Evan and Bros. I am your most gracious host, Evan. This is episode 13 of this weekly sports podcast. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody well. We took a little hiatus for Wednesday's episode. I wanted to give my people a break, but we're back better than ever. When I say we're back, there's only one person with me today. I guess that little break extended a little further than I planned. No, I didn't tell them to record today. I wanted to keep it small, wanted to keep it personal. Less voices today because that Monday episode ended up being a lot longer than I wanted it to be. So we're going to try to get that time back down. But with me today is Mr. Eldad Sailor. Right on time. What's up, buddy?
I'm all you need.
So people who are listening on the podcast format, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, Eldad's wearing a mask, which everybody should be. But he's wearing a mask and he's wearing a Clippers custom design mask that looks a little too tight and uncomfortable for the face.
It is so tight. Oh my God.
You look like you're about to combat crime. Like it is that. It looks like I can see your lips.
I know. Every time I watch the NBA broadcast, I'm like, wait, those masks are ridiculously tight. And I get it now. This is it.
That looks so. How does it?
It feels so uncomfortable. My lips feel weird.
They look weird. It looks like it's bringing your nose. Like it just looks so uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, this might be better. It's not much better.
Like that looks severely that could restrict your breathing. We got a fun show today. We are going to. I'm not going to list up the topics like I used to. I'm going to try to keep it more as a free flowing shot, as we like to say, or show. So that way everybody isn't expecting something, or if we don't have to rush through a topic. I think that's going to be the better way to go. So, without further ado, Eldad, hit that intro.
X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Yeah. Okay, it's X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Of course, it's a talk show, man, talking about sports. The one and only Evan Miller, yeah, that's your host, doing analyzing with the side of jokes. Ayy, X's and O's with Evan and Bros. X's and O's with Evan and Bros. X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Ayy, analyzing with the side of jokes.
All right, so let's have a little bubble talk. So the reason why we wanted to take a break on Wednesday is because there was so much basketball news. Well, when I mean news, I just mean really analyzing the games that have been played. Nothing serious has dropped. And I didn't want to cover another 2 hours of that. It seemed kind of ridiculous. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a good break.
I thought it seemed kind of silly, seemed kind of redundant. I was doing it for my listeners and viewers, doing it for y'all. So I just thought it was kind of silly. But now it's been a couple days since Monday, and we've basically gone a full week of basketball, almost there. And I guess today, since we filmed this Thursday, this will mark a full week of having basketball since the start of last Thursday. What do you think so far?
They've all been classics.
They've all been. It's like if you like look at the top 10 games of the year, it's been this week.
It's just been every single. It doesn't matter what stupid teams face off. It's going to be a close game.
It literally could. Again, Wizards, Nets. It could be the worst teams or Suns. Obviously, Suns are actually looking really. I think they're undefeated.
They're so confident.
They're undefeated in the bubble right now.
All of their shooters are just insane right now.
So it's kind of crazy. Booker has been playing lights out.
Booker, Rubio.
Rubio's been playing good. A lot of their guard play. Even Cameron Payne has played well.
Cameron Johnson's playing well now.
They've been a lot of these teams It's funny. Some of the teams that I thought would be have done really well. And then the teams I was like, okay, these are I think our most confident teams. They've done good. But some of the teams that I thought, again, Pelicans, Memphis.
Yeah.
Some of the teams were like definitely going for that 8 seed.
Well, I think Memphis is just cursed right now.
And now Jaren Jackson's out.
Yeah.
So that dropped over this week currently. Tore ACL. Meniscus. Who tore his ACL?
Isaac. Yeah.
Jonathan Isaac tore his ACL.
My 2K team is suffering.
Dude, that's literally your entire... Hey, good thing you got rid of Michael Porter Jr. And Ben Simmons has a knee injury as well. He's okay. He got cleared.
Yeah.
Damn. That's a good point.
It's all my fault.
It is your fault. We haven't played in a while. That's probably the problem. So let's talk about... We'll start... Since we did not film on Tuesday, we'll start with Tuesday. We'll just go quickly over the games, who won, who lost, and talk about what we thought. Trail Blazers beat the Rockets on Tuesday. What do you think?
I'm honestly kind of shocked it was Tuesday. I thought I was like, oh,
Today's Thursday, bro.
Yeah.
This week has flown by the way to me.
Yeah, that's weird.
This week, I felt like yesterday was
we have
Monday.
Sports.
It is probably because we have sports, but also, I mean, I thought it just has gone by. This week specifically has just flown by.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
But I thought the Trailblazers have looked great.
The Trailblazers has Kamar Anthony, I think, came up clutch again.
Yeah.
In this game. He has been playing lights out.
I'm so glad he's accepted that role. It's just spot up guy.
Yeah. He doesn't have to do too much, and what he's doing right now is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Let CJ, let Dame create.
Let Nurkic destroy people
destroy
in
the post. The dude might have the best low post scoring game right now in the bubble. It's absurd. And they know exactly what to do with him. And that's what I don't understand why a lot of teams don't do. Yep. Like he's been out for feels like over a year.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd come back anywhere near this strong. It's ridiculous.
And he was putting up 15, not
No.
all-star numbers, right? He was a very good starter.
Yeah, he's had some like unreal games in the past.
Yeah, but he doesn't average like 20. Yeah. He doesn't average 20 and 10. I tell you what, right now though.
He's averaging like 25, 12, like 4 blocks.
The dude's redefining his whole career right now. And I think the bubble has done that for a bunch of people, which has been,
TJ Warren.
TJ Warren was the next guy I was coming to. Only 5 players in Pacer history have scored 50, and one of them's not Paul George. Let that sit in. That's crazy talk.
That is crazy.
TJ and the Pacers was going to be my other team. I picked them to freaking collapse in the bubble just because Victor's out, Sabonis is out.
Yeah. Hey, this is what TJ Warren always should have been. He was a ridiculous college scorer.
So they were when they traded for TJ Warren. I loved the trade.
Oh, it was a complete joke of a trade.
Well, yes. One, I don't know why the Suns would do that. 2, it just didn't make any. People are saying, "Oh, TJ isn't what Bogdanovic is," because they were losing Bogdanovic in free agency. They didn't want to pay Bogdanovic. I thought TJ was better than Bogdanovic. I think a starting capable 3.
Yeah, I think TJ just had like injury issues.
Possibly. I always thought that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And obviously he's cheaper too. I think they're only paying him like 11.
Yeah, it's a great deal. It's probably the best deal in the NBA.
Well, looking right now.
Well, yeah. Well, even like in general, he's like a 20-point scorer regardless.
Well, what about Nurkic? Nurkic's deal, he's only making like 45.
Yeah.
Nurkic is another one. I think it's actually around the same number, around 11.
Around TJ, yeah.
So, all right. But Rockets, I'm not worried about the Rockets. Broderick can correct me, but I'm pretty sure I picked the Trailblazers to win this game just because I didn't think they had somebody to stop Nurkic. And this is where the Trailblazers are going to come. And Gary Trent Jr. has played really well.
He's been unreal.
He's
looked like Ray Allen.
He's finally kind of figuring it out. And I think it takes a while for guys who not role players in college, but weren't their number one guy. Like Gary was not the number one guy at Duke. I mean, he might have even been the number 3 guy at Duke during his tenure.
I think it was Bagley. Maybe was Kennard there?
I think Ty
Trey.
one of the Jones brothers.
Mm.
He's been a couple years now. But yeah, so he was probably the 3rd guy on that Duke team. And when they leave early, they get drafted 20 and down, whether that's 2nd round or late first. And so they just have some development still to use. That's why I still think Cam Reddish is going to, because this was his rookie year. I still think give him 2 more years and then he'll have it all together. And then you could see something like Gary, where Gary's balling off the bench. And Gary's got good size too. He stands around 6'4", 6'5", probably at a 2 guard. He has the green light. He has that shooter's mentality, which is you want. I think you want as your 6th man coming off the bench. So, but yeah, I think the Rockets are going to be fine. I just think it's a bad matchup. I pick the Trailblazers to be that 8 seed, or if they keep winning, I don't know what's their.
I think they're a game back of Memphis now.
Yeah, so they couldn't get into the 7 seed, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
The Mavericks have like 10 games on those teams.
So they're vibing for that 8 seed. And I think if they play somebody, we'll talk about the Lakers extensively later. If they play somebody like the Lakers are screwed. I almost said they have one.
They've got a chance.
I think in this.
Especially with the way the Lakers are playing now.
Well, and EJ, who's on the show when he wants to be, was texting in a group message. He was like, what do you say?
They're not trying.
Or Grant said they're not trying.
They both said they weren't trying.
And I'm like, LeBron literally is the only player in the bubble that has come out publicly and stated, these are not throwaway games. Washed King, trying to prove a point. The duo that apparently is the best duo in the league, LeBron and Anthony Davis, is shooting like below 30% combined.
Yeah.
LeBron has not looked good in this bubble.
No, AD's had a couple great games and a couple just
awful,
like 6-point games.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It really is.
But LeBron really hasn't looked good the entire time.
LeBron has not looked good yet. He's putting up basically Lonzo's stats. So if you think Lonzo's trash, which I think Lonzo's trash, I'm going to have to say LeBron might be a little bit of garbage.
And then Danny Green, member of the Big Three.
It's
looking great.
When that post, I think, is it ESPN post or is it Bleacher Report? Bleacher Report did their best trio, which is pointless because
none of these teams have trios.
Half of them don't have trios. So I was like, this is stupid. Again, I think the Boston Celtics have the best starting 5.
Yeah, the Sixers, the Celtics are should have been at top of that trio thing.
Yeah, and they had them 5th, 6th, 7th. It was stupid. You're telling me there's a better trio than Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid?
Yeah, especially when it's LeBron, AD, and then your third is Danny Green.
And especially the way he's been looking right now.
Yeah.
And Danny Green, before the bubble, before the season ended, was looking sharp. The dude was looking, I think he had one of his best games against the Clippers, actually. I think him and Avery Bradley both went off.
It's been his last 3 playoffs. I think he's shooting 30% overall in his last 3.
All right. Well, I'm not worried about the Rockets. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think the Trailblazers again have the best chance in the playoffs as a lower seed to make some noise.
I want to see them as the 8.
And I think everybody wants to see Dame Time versus LeBron and take him out. I honestly, and I don't know if it's just because Grant's a big Damian Lillard fan. He's also a big LeBron, suck off. But I think Grant was saying how he'd be happy if Dame beat LeBron in the playoffs. But I hope Grant also knows this tarnishes LeBron's legacy if he gets a first-round exit after everybody was saying this is the best team in the NBA. Celtics Heat. Heat won this game. This was actually a surprise.
Yeah, they look pretty good without Jimmy.
They've looked really good. I think they're 2-0 without Jimmy Butler right now. I don't think that says anything. I still think Jimmy Butler is still the best player on that squad, and they need him, especially in come playoff time. It's kind of shocking. I had the Celtics win this game just because the Celtics look They didn't look terrible, but Jason Tatum looked terrible in their first game. Then they bounced back. He looked really good their second game.
Yep.
This was their third game. And obviously they lost. And then they just played again.
And they destroyed the Nets.
They destroyed the Nets. Looked really good. I think Jaylen Brown's playing really well.
He is.
Nobody's talking about it. I think the dynamic duo of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is the future of the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And then you're going to cycle through whoever. Hopefully they get rid of Gordon Hayward's $32 million contract.
Hey, he's playing well, though.
But he's playing well. He is, and I'm not taking it away. But he's not when you have a guy who's 30 versus two guys who are 22 and 21 years old, no, he can't be the future. It's just a fact. And then Kemba's 30 as well, around there. So it's like Kemba will be there. But, I mean, I think once they get rid of the Gordon Hayward contract, they can bring in another guy who suits those two guys' needs better. Because, Jaylen and Tatum are both fluid when it comes to 2 through the 4 positions. So they are the future. They're playing really well. And, I mean, Jaylen Brown stepped up, I think it was last year in the playoffs too. Or the year that Kyrie was out, whatever. Was that last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And so I love Jaylen Brown, always have. And so I just hope he continues to do this and people start talking about him more. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I thought it was weird that the Celtics lost. I was watching the game and I couldn't really tell why they were losing. But I don't know. I think once Kemba, that knee really concerns me. It's been bothering him since January. It just doesn't feel like, I mean, Grant brought up a good point. He said he's kind of just standing there most of the time, which, I mean, he's really just spotting up.
Dude,
he only shoots like 4 times a game.
He's not a spotted shooter anyway. Yeah, that's why I said Jaylen Brown and Tatum are the future of this team. Just because, I don't know. I think Kemba will be fine. He just has to work through it.
Yeah.
Knees are finicky. And that's why it's always scary, once you get a knee injury.
Well, I'm sure the Isaac thing also made him like, I'm not running, not moving.
Jonathan Isaac was balling out, man. Don't get me started. I hate it.
The Magic look good too. Not anymore.
All right, we're going to move on to the Magic Pacers game. Yeah, and Magic was my team. If you heard my Monday show, I was loving the Magic. And then the other team that has surprised everybody, the Pacers, kicked their ass. So I don't know what to think anymore. But Aaron Gordon's kind of hurt, but I think they already looked at him, scanned him, and he's fine. I saw a report that the Warriors have always been interested in Aaron Gordon. So I don't know what they would do with Aaron Gordon. That would be interesting. An interesting play to get Aaron Gordon. Have some combination. I guess he would come off the bench.
I guess that's weird.
I don't know. I don't know where he fits in with them. I guess kind of maybe similar how Draymond Green does. And maybe they want to get rid of that contract that Draymond Green has. I don't know. That was just something, but we'll see. I don't think that's anything really, to be honest. But yeah, again, Pacers continue to look good. They're undefeated in the bubble. Shocking to me. You?
I think TJ's just one of those guys where if he just has to go out there and ball, like not worry about the crowds or any of the other stuff, we're just seeing him unleashed.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think you're seeing where some guys
like LeBron feeds off of crowd energy.
Feed off the crowd, and that could be an issue where some guys are just, you get them in the gym that are no fans, no crowds, no nothing, and they ball out. Like, like we've seen Hoodie Mello ball out in rec gyms for years now.
Yeah.
This is basically Hoodie Mello.
Yep.
Right? So this is the same instance where this is Bubble TJ, and he's killing it. And I hope he continues to kill it. And I saw a report that the NBA most likely won't do another bubble bubble thing.
Like for the losing teams?
No, like once this season's ended, they won't do another bubble. Like it'll go back to being in cities.
Oh, okay.
Like it'll be unlikely.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because I think it's a lot to like hold these guys for 3 months in one city or in one place and then ask them, because I think
like 7 months in one place.
Yeah, it would be a lot. But we were talking where the X's and O's crew was talking where how competitive these games have been, this is how the playoffs need to be. And obviously the playoffs haven't happened yet, so we don't know if this will continue over. But if they were able to do, again, like a March Madness style, you put this top 16 teams in one spot and this gladiator, that shit, which would be insane. And it's proving that this is maybe what is causing these last minute, and we're about to talk about the Suns-Clippers games, but these games where they're so close and all right, I know we've been giving the Lakers a lot of shit just because they asked for it, but the Clippers have not looked as good as they should be either.
No.
They've lost some games where they shouldn't have lost. But they also won the games I guess, I don't know. The Lakers game they should have won. But we're going to move on. Suns, Clippers, just talking about it. Devin Booker hits a dagger. He channeled his inner Kobe. And if you saw the replay, Paul George high-fived the shit out of him. Could have been a foul, too. The dude's special. He keeps climbing up all the offensive historic rankings for every stat. And it feels like, this feels like Devin Booker's 5th year, but he's still only 23 years old. I don't know how I feel about Devin Booker as rankings when it comes to shooting guards.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody does, because he continuously scores. Everybody knows he's going to be a future 30-point scorer.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I don't want him to take Ayton's, shots away, because I still think Ayton defers to him, which, rightfully so. You gotta defer to him. It's kind of different. Actually, if you think about it, it's kind of opposite from the Kobe-Shaq pairing, where it was younger Kobe, veteran Shaq. Shaq obviously got all the shots and everything, then Kobe would feed off of Shaq later on. So maybe you'll see Booker go somewhere.
Minnesota,
and join his boys. But he would definitely won't get his shots there. I think Russell would be the one to defer to Booker, and
I think so.
To Cat, at least you would hope. But also Russell has that mentality where I don't know if he would. I do want to see that team someday. It's like the Banana Boat team, where it's like you hear about their friendship, you hear about how close they are, where you just want them to play together.
He's not going to the Lakers. Quit photoshopping it.
Anyway. But he hits that dagger over Paul George. Paul George has been nutted in the face so many times when it comes to
great defense twice now.
It is great defense, and I feel so bad for him. But again, the Suns have looked really good. Booker has looked really good. Shooters are going to play well.
A lot of confidence.
Some shooters are going to play well in this environment. Some shooters are not. And we're about 3 to 4 games in, and I think some of them 4. And yeah. You're seeing who is performing well in this environment, and Devin Booker's one of them. Good for the Suns. I'm happy for the Suns. Quick on your clips.
It was weird. There's no reason the shot should have ever even gone up, because Zoo grabbed the rebound, and then he just said, tossed it right to the Suns.
So why do you think they're playing like they have dropped a couple games that they shouldn't have dropped?
Well, it's just been...
Do you think it's because the Lakers have clinched the 1 seed? So there's like kind of no point?
Well, no, because the Clippers definitely haven't clinched the 2 yet.
Well, yeah. But honestly, the Nuggets haven't looked.
Yeah, the Nuggets look a little weird. Their offense looks great.
Well, the emergence of Michael Porter Jr. Holy shit. Back-to-back 30-point games, I think. And he's getting rebounds. It's not even like he's one of these guys where they're putting up 30, but they only grab like 5 boards.
No, he's grabbing
6.
like 10 a game. He's blocking like a shot a game. Looks pretty good. But I mean, the Clippers still have the excuse of Montrez not being there. I guess wait until they have a full roster. But it hasn't looked great.
All right. So we're going to move on to the Kings Mavs. Don't really have to say a lot about this. Had the Mavs winning. I thought it was going to be close to, and it was. Just because I think De'Aaron's trying to will. I see De'Aaron kind of like a young Dame, trying to just wield, his team to whatever he can. Different types of players, but I meant just like that point guard, point, trying to lead. And so I just pray that he gets. It's so hard to attract free agents to Sacramento. I hope they draft somebody that can. Hope Bagley emerges, or that can rival that Booker Ayton young big man point guard duo. But Mavs, what can I say? Luka so far 34, 13.6 rebounds and 11 assists so far in the bubble, and I think nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, that 40-20-10 game.
That's absurd stat line. I think he's the youngest player to ever do a 30, 20, and 10 stat line.
Yeah.
At the shooting guard position, he fluctuates between 1 and 3, but still, he's not playing the 4 or the 5. And then TJ, 39.6, 65% shooting, 61 from the three-pointer. Giannis is 29, 13, shooting 45 from the 3. But Luka, damn.
Kings should have drafted Luka, but we knew that.
I mean, the Suns could have drafted. I don't know. Hawks should have drafted Luka, and they did technically. Moving on, Nets Bucks. This shocked everybody. Nobody had the Nets winning this game. I didn't have the Nets win this game. I'm pissed that they won. But I just think it's one of those fluke things where you see some of these teams drop a game and it.
Yeah. Well, if I bet on that game, I'm pissed because the Nets were like 18.5-point underdogs. And I mean, if you knew Giannis and Middleton were going to sit the entire second half, and if you knew Brook Lopez wouldn't play and then Bledsoe would play like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It sucks. Don't bet on games.
That's why you don't bet on games. Even if you
don't bet on useless games like that one.
Even if you're as sure as you can be, don't do it.
Bet on the series.
All right, we're moving on to yesterday's games. Nets Celtics. This was an ass whooping if I've ever seen one. The Celtics put up 149 points. That is absurd. The Nets put up 115. Maybe the Celtics should work on it. Robert Williams.
7 of 7.
Kind of showed up a little bit. We saw Robert Williams sighting in the bubble. So good for him. They're still trying to figure out that 5 position. Theis is good, or Tice, however you want to say it. And then obviously Robert. Those are their 2 5s. So
Cantor too.
And Cantor scoring big off the bench. Robert's more of their defensive big.
Yeah.
Cantor's more of their
Cantor's
offensive.
the offense. Yeah.
So, good for them. That's why they put up 49 points.
They look great.
So, Raptors Magic, not shocked. I think the Raptors are the most. It's tough. There's a lot of teams that a lot of people are disrespecting, but how do you disrespect the reigning defending champs? And people still do it.
Yeah, I still don't think I don't think they're as serious title contenders as maybe is being thrown out right now, just because.
You need that guy in this instance.
Yeah, I look at Kyle Lowry, and it's just there's.
Well, no, I think him and Fred, just take turns being dominant each night.
Yeah, but Lowry has like these plays where he's just out of control. He can have nights where he shoots like 4 of like 30 just for no reason.
I think he thinks
or go
he's
for
Damian
33.
Lillard.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Thank you, guys.
Take this moment to like and subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Curbside Entertainment and Curbside Network, respectively. You can also find us on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to X's and O's with Evan and Bros. Joining me at the desk today is Mr. L. Daddy Sailor. High five me. All right. So, we are on yesterday's NBA games, Wednesday. So, we're on the Thunder Lakers. I think this game shocked everybody because I think everybody believed the Lakers needed a bounce back game. So everybody just figured AD and LeBron were going to get it done. Notice how I said AD's name first. So everybody's freaking out about this game. And the only reason why everybody's freaking out is because obviously it's LeBron, it's the Lakers. You put two and two together, you get to freak out. It's like if Tom Brady signed with the Cowboys. It's the same deal. You already get so much news about them individually. You put them together. That's what happens. So I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, why is everybody freaking out about the Lakers? Bah, 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 bah. Shut up. Shut your damn mouth. You asked for this. You want to be a LeBron fan? This is what happens. You want to be a Lakers fan? This is what happens. You put LeBron, the Lakers together? This is the shit that people are going to talk about. So if they screw up, if they trip, it's going to be front page headlines. It's what happens. You don't want that? LeBron should have gone to Orlando. Nobody ever talks about Orlando. I forget they're an NBA team. Don't want it? Lakers can throw away how many chips they have? 19?
I think 17.
Throw away all of them. Give them to Minnesota. Who doesn't have a ship?
They should give those Minnesota ones up.
There you go. Just give away some of them. One of them. Then people won't talk about you. If you screw up. Because that's what happens. You know why nobody talks about the Clippers screwing up? Because they have a history of sucking. No offense.
No, none taken.
So, my point is, you get two historically great things and you put them together, you get historically great commentary on both things. And this is what you get and this is what you deserve. So, Laker fans, shut up. LeBron fans, shut up. Grant Plunkett, shut up. EJ Mitchum, shut up. The Lakers are in trouble. They suck. And I thought they sucked before the bubble because I thought their role players sucked. I thought the hit of Avery Bradley was more so a bigger loss than the Rajon Rondo. Their spot-up shooters aren't shooting. Their primary offensive weapons aren't performing at the highest level. You said it earlier. AD will go off for 40 and then he disappears for 14. Goes off for 40, disappears for 14. I don't know what the deal is with that. I might blame coaching. I don't know. I feel like whatever team you have with LeBron, he's the coach anyway, so I feel like coaching doesn't matter. And this is, I think, again, my point where I think good because of the absence of Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo, where good guard play against the Lakers is going to be their downfall. Chris Point God Paul. People are saying vintage Chris Paul. I'm like, Chris Paul's not trash anyway. What do you mean vintage?
It's like every game for him.
This is what and I looked at I was expecting, I swear to God, when I heard that, I was like, all right, let me see this stat line. Because I was expecting 20 points, but 15 assists when people were saying vintage Chris Paul. No! He didn't even hit double figures in assists.
No, it was 21 and 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah, it was. Yes, he was very efficient from the field goal percentage on that aspect. But I was like, damn, this is vintage Chris Paul because I'm not missing him if this is vintage. But yes, and now let me look at the stats because obviously stats doesn't tell the whole story. But my point is, the thing with having, and everybody shot extremely well except for Dort. I don't even know what a Dort is. But good guard play. And if you have a defensive center like Steven Adams or a defensive big man, and you have Nerlens Noel coming off the bench as well. So they have size. If you have that, and then you have really good guard play, they're in trouble. And then it's nice that Nurkic has been having 6 block games. So I used to think, all right, they have Whiteside coming off the bench, so there's their defensive guy. But now, since Nurkic is out here averaging 7 blocks a game, I'm like, maybe they don't need Whiteside as much as I thought. AD,
8.
9 points.
Dang it.
Close. 8 rebounds, 5 assists.
How many fouls, though?
Yet, I don't know.
I think it was either 5 or 6.
It must be 5. You can't play 29 minutes. I don't know. Dion Waiters still kind of performing good. Shot 0 for 4 from 3, though.
I mean, it's reasonably as well as you could expect them to play.
But Dion Waiters is not a defensive guard. The
No.
dude's gonna come off and score. I never doubted that. But that's not what they need.
Yeah.
That's not what they needed. That's not what Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo provided. Yes, Avery's a good spot-up shooter, but they loved them for their defensive capabilities. Dion Waiters cannot provide that. J.R. Smith is a good defender, but he's not Avery Bradley or Rajon Rondo. This Laker team is overly dependent on LeBron and AD. Rightfully so. They're both arguably top 5 players. But when they're not hitting, they suck. Because they don't have the depth. And I mean, LeBron went 7 of 19. This is a similar stat line against the Clippers. I think he had 6 of 19. So he shot 1 better. I don't know, man. What do you think it is?
They're a team.
And I think the reason why people are also concerned is because it's not just where the Clippers are losing like these 1-point games or these close games, right?
The Lakers look bad in their losses.
Yeah, they look bad. Continue.
Kind of look bad in their wins. But every single role player they have is a streaky shooter. Like Dion Waiters, Danny Green, J.R. Smith. Like this is what happens when all of your shooters get cold. A KCP. It's just if you don't have these consistent guys, and they are heavily dependent on LeBron and AD, Kuzma basically doesn't do anything. I don't think he can play basketball. But LeBron and AD over the past week have had their worst 2 shooting percentage games.
Well, real quick
as teammates.
So this stat line, Kuzma shot the ball 7 times. 5 of those shots were threes. They have Kuz hovering around the 3-point line. And they want him to be Ray Allen, which he's not. Yes, he can knock down the 3, but at a reasonable clip. Instead of taking 5, take 3. Have the other 2 shots in the paint. And smart threes, too.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It's dangerous to have Kuz, JR, Waiters all on the same
stupid
team.
Shots.
They'll take stupid shots whenever they freaking want to.
And defenses have been attacking Kuz late game. Raptors game, Kyle Lowry went at him like 3 possessions in a row. Drew a foul, hit a 3, and then drew a 3-point foul. And then I saw the same thing. Chris Paul was going at Kuz, just taking him off the dribble.
Did you see Kuz Quinn Cook?
No.
Oh, you didn't see it? Highly recommend looking up the highlight. Chris broke Cook. I can see why Cook's been on the bench a lot this restart.
Also, the Thunder don't have Schroeder, so that loss looks even worse. It's like a 19-point per game score off the bench they're missing.
And again, there's just some of these teams, the Thunder, Portland, Pacers. I would throw Orlando. Yes, Orlando lost, but they lost to the Pacers. Suns. Those 4 teams have looked really good, but they were kind of average, obviously, prior to the bubble or below average. Nobody picked them to be contenders. And I'm not even saying they are contenders, but they've came out in this bubble setting.
A lot of confidence.
A lot of confidence
really well.
and playing really well. So it's interesting to see some of these teams come out and do what they're doing. And I think it's good. It makes for good basketball where a lot of these teams who were, at 29, 28 wins, right below 30 or at 30, and they're coming out and, shocking the bubble. Everybody picked Pelicans or Grizzlies. Well, they both have sucked. San Antonio's playing good.
Hey, Pelicans are back in it, though.
Well, yeah, because the Grizzlies are so bad. All right, we're moving on. Nuggets Spurs.
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr., baby. Which I'm so happy for him because, again, it was all right. If you let a guy who is the number one overall player in a dominant recruiting class with Ayton, right?
Yeah.
Because he could have been counted for Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah.
With Ayton and those boys. Trae Young. Luka. Bagley. Number one player out of high school. Didn't play at all in Missouri. Yes, he got in at the end, but didn't play. But with 6'10 size, a stroke like KD, and he has better frame than KD almost probably has ever had. Even now. Fall to pick 14 at the end of the lotto.
They just thought that back injury was just going to really hurt him. I mean, I get it. I don't think he should have gone top 5.
No, I'm not.
But
Again,
I think
that's what I'm
around picks
saying.
10, 11, 9, take the risk.
Yeah, 10, 11, 9. What do you have to lose? You're probably drafting there next year anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, teams are just, it's the same thing with Bull. Like, why did he fall to 44? It's definitely more valuable than...
Yes, he's more valuable. But again, a guy who was the number one, and yes, Bull was top 5 in recruiting. I'm not saying he wasn't. But even Porter's body just looks ready for the NBA the minute he was at Mizzou.
And he's still not moving that great. He's still way stiffer than he was.
Still kind of slow, way stiff. But when you shoot like he does, you can be as stiff as you freaking want to be.
Yeah. Nobody can contest that shot.
And again, he's long. He's defending well. People compared him to KD because of his height and shooting stroke.
Yep.
And the dude's putting up 30.
He's hitting tough shots, too. He's just shooting over people.
Again, the dude's looking good. So I'm happy for him because, again, people were giving him shit. Would this pan out? But 30, 15, 11 for 19, 5 from 9 from 3, 1 block. Jokic, 29, 4, 11. So if they have Porter down there getting the rebounds, have Jokic assisting, it's a dangerous combo. 2 guys 6'10 and above that can do that.
This is what the Nuggets should be.
And Murray's still
they don't
not
even
playing.
Have Jamal.
So if you have 3 guys, tell you what,
Will Barton's not there either.
Best trios, possibly Porter, Jokic,
yet.
and Murray.
Eventually, not yet.
It'd be crazy though, because Jokic is the oldest out of that, 25. I think he's turning 26 this year. Who would you rather have? Porter, Jokic, Murray, Ben, Embiid, Harris? Probably still Ben.
Embiid, Harris. Ben's better than Jamal. Jokic, I'd say, is better than Embiid. And then Harris is still better than Porter Jr. now.
Yeah.
But long term.
I know sample size, obviously.
Yeah.
Now it'll be interesting what happens in the playoffs and see if Michael can stay healthy and continue this, scoring output even when Murray gets back. Because Murray's a scorer. So it's going to be, obviously he's getting the most shot attempts at 19. He got the most shot attempts yesterday. So
yeah, they're trying to get him going.
They are,
and it's working.
And that's what I appreciate. I think you got to give guys chances to score.
Yeah,
you can't just expect everybody to somehow get their shot.
Yeah,
feed them the ball, let them shoot it. If they hit a couple, feed them again. It's not hard. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, he's just got to stay healthy, which is really why he fell to 14. That family's had 15 ACL injuries between 4 people, and he doesn't believe in vaccines. So Staying healthy might be out of the question.
And he
but
likes a couple cops, too. 76ers Wizards. Finally, the 76ers got a win. I think this is their second win. They're probably 2-1 in the bubble. Lost to the Pacers, which now that Pacers loss isn't looking so bad.
No.
Right? It's looking kind of reasonable.
Especially if TJ has to go off for 53 to beat you. Not bad.
So this is the game that Ben Simmons got hurt in. So he played 23 minutes. He hasn't looked all that good, though.
No. Embiid's look pretty good.
Embiid's look good. 30, 11, and 3. So Tobias has looked okay. Tobias played 37 minutes. It's probably because Ben Simmons went out. So he had to play a little extra, probably more at the power forward and things like that of that nature that Ben would have played. Milton's played good. He had a game winner. Not this game, the game prior, though.
Yeah.
These games have been close, though.
They just haven't looked great as a team.
I mean, they're only going about 9 deep.
And even those 9 are kind of questionable.
No, I mean, you have 3 shooting guards coming off your bench. And none of them are extremely good shooters. NATO sucks.
Well,
Quinn sucks.
NATO shouldn't be playing.
I mean, I don't blame. They're kind of like the Lakers' problem,
Yeah.
where their depth sucks.
Yeah.
So you need at least they have better. I like their shooters better than the Lakers shooters.
Yeah.
Their shooting guards. And then I like their big 3 versus the Lakers' big 3. But Ben has to play better if they want a chance.
Yeah.
Ben can't be playing how he's playing. Ben needs to at least put up 18.
He's playing pretty close to Danny Green right now.
He is. He has not looked good. And now, I would make an argument. Who would you take, Ben Simmons or Luka? I think you'd take Luka without a question now.
Yeah.
Without a question. And I'm a big.
I think it's Tatum easily over Ben now, too.
Really?
I think so. I mean, Ben's just looked terrible.
I don't know. That one's tough. I think you clearly take Luka over both those guys.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe you do take Tatum over. I'm just a LeBron. I mean, not LeBron. I'm just a Ben Simmons guy, so it would be hard for me to do that. But Grizzlies, Jazz. Jazz are kind of starting to put it together. They've looked better.
You want to talk about bad benches? That's the Jazz. They got one guy who can score, and it's Jordan Clarkson.
But he's scoring.
He is scoring.
What's so funny?
He's
you know how he was trash with the Cavs when LeBron was there? But he was good with the Lakers?
Good with the Lakers.
How does he do that? Well, how does LeBron do this? That's probably the better question.
It's got to be the pressure.
Because isn't he supposed to make everybody better around him?
Yeah.
But it seems where you get some of these shitty role players or these good role players where they come play with him, suck. And then they go off, different team, play really good. And then LeBron's like, why don't you come back and join me? And then they suck again.
Yeah. It's got to be the pressure. It's got to be people constantly trashing you. I feel like that's what's happening with Danny. I think JaVale's been playing like an idiot recently, which Frank should stop playing him and AD together. It just doesn't make sense.
That's what I wonder. Is it coaching for the Lakers?
I think it's everything right now. I mean, coaching is not going to help you if LeBron and AD are shooting 38% together.
Agreed.
And Danny Green, how many more threes is he going to miss?
I'm telling you, man, he's just building a whole new Staples Center down there in Orlando.
He's still on the Raptors payroll. They just know it.
So the Grizzlies have fallen off completely, and which is sad because the NBA was out to get them from the beginning in this whole bubble. So I feel bad for them. I do. I feel bad for Ja. Ja's always going to be Zion's ugly stepbrother, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the narrative that's going to be painted. It's not. I think it's more disrespect than Luka and Trey.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, The NBA wants Zion and the Pelicans to succeed so bad. So they really they gave the Grizzlies the hardest schedule coming back into the bubble.
Which, I mean, they had the hardest remaining one, which I don't hate, but the bubble, the 4-game cushion for the 9th seed, basically.
Well, and then they were like, if they're within 4 games of the 8th seed, then it's a play-in.
Every team is within 4 games.
Does that make any sense, though, to me? But, why do that? Because that's not a rule in the regular season. There's not a play-in. Yeah. That's how bad they wanted the Pelicans to be in.
Yeah.
So, the Grizzlies and Ja, my point is where they don't give Trey this much crap. Obviously, we know Luka's better.
Yeah.
There's no question. But the NBA wants Zion to succeed so bad. They want this Pelicans team to work so bad. Yeah. Well, they really just want Zion to work.
Well, they were pushing Ja a lot, and then as soon as Zion got healthy, it was like, no more Ja highlights. Nothing.
It's all Zion.
No more Grizzlies. It's the Pelicans.
It shouldn't be a question for Rookie of the Year. I know you can make the arguments like you said before, Joel Embiid was easily the best rookie.
Yeah, but he didn't get it because you can't just play 20 games.
Yeah, but also Jaw's been fantastic. So it's not like so it's not like where it's like Brogdon was averaging 13 points that year or 14.
And
I think
Saric
he might have
was right around there.
Yeah, so it's you see my point?
No, I think Ja is easily Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's a debate.
Yeah. And so the NBA has kind of tossed him aside. And so I feel like you could see easily disrespect where Dame was getting for Dame won Rookie of the Year, but everybody loved AD. Is
that the same year?
Yeah. I think that's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Right there. That's your comparison. Isn't that crazy? This is the same year.
Is it really? It just seems weird.
Yeah.
But the Grizzlies are done.
Yeah, Grizzlies are done, unfortunately.
But Grayson's looked good for them. I guess that's something. Dylan Brooks kind of sucks, but
Dylan has looked kind of bad.
He's made. He's. I think Grizzlies Twitter hates him because he's a big one good play, one awful play kind of guy.
We love those,
and he can only score from the right side of
J.R.
the
Smith
floor.
built a career out of that. So, all right. So those were the games we were recapping. We're going real quick. We're not going to analyze these games, but we're going to pick our games for today, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're not analyzing. We're just going to pick them, okay? Because we have spent so much time on the NBA. So I'll let you pull them up. I just go by Bleacher Report and just go through scores.
I've already messed up. All
right. So first up today at 1:30 p.m. NBA TV, we got Pelicans Kings. Oh my God. I'm going Kings this one because I think the Kings have been playing so well. De'Aaron Fox has been doing so well. I have a gut wrenching feeling that is it Bogan?
Bogdanovich, yeah.
I think he's going to put up 30, and
he's played really well.
Fox is going to put. Can you imagine if the Lakers had gotten him at the trade line? I'm for sure they made calls. I don't know how they couldn't have, but I think him and Fox go off for 30. I'm actually going Kings in this one.
I'm going to go Pelicans. I just think they have too much to play for right now.
This is one of those 50-50 games. I'm not mad at the Pelicans because, again, they were my pick to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Kings might be a little just deflated.
They could be
because of the ways they've lost.
The ways they've lost. That's why Pelicans are a 4.5 favorite.
Plus, if you watch that Mavericks game, the Mavericks got 50 free throws while the Kings got 8. So the NBA is going to give the Pelicans free throws here.
Again, the NBA wants the Pelicans to win so bad.
Yeah.
So this feels like the game the Pelicans actually have to win. But for some reason, I just have a gut feeling that the Kings are going to come out.
Kings are going to do it.
Can you write these down?
Yeah.
You don't have to look at them because I'm going to say them. Next up, we got Heat Bucks. God, this feels like another game. I don't bet against the Bucks. I always, just because if you have that dominant player, I feel like you always have to go Bucks. I'm still going Bucks. I think I don't know if what's it? I don't know if Jimmy's playing again, but I am going Bucks.
I'm going Bucks as well.
I think you always have to play safe with Bucks.
I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Bucks come out on top.
Bucks are 9.5 favorites.
That's
ridiculous. I think
they're not covering that.
No, that's so stupid. All right, Pacers Suns. Oh my God, this is
TJ Warren revenge game.
It has to be a TJ Warren revenge game. I'm going Pacers.
I'm going Pacers as well.
But this would not shock me if the Suns do get it done. I think you could see Warren and TJ go shot for shot. But
it's the same person.
Oh, my bad. Warren and Booker go shot for shot.
But Warren and TJ could.
Warren and Booker could go shot for shot. But I think Turner does enough to hold Ayton back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's my pick, though.
Pacers.
Yeah.
All
right. Clippers, Mavs. Ooh, good game tonight, Tia. You want to come over and watch it?
I'm down.
All right, let's do it. Clippers, Mavs. Ooh. Mavs looks. Porzingis and Luka have looked so good this playoffs. I mean, this bubble. Oh!
My gut just says Clippers come out pissed after a loss.
That's what I'm saying.
They have to.
They have to. I don't. I'm going Clippers as well, but I love the Mavs so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked with this game.
Trailblazers, Nuggets. Trailblazers are favored by 4, and because of that, I'm going Nuggets.
I was gonna say, actually,
if they were underdogs, I would so go Trailblazers.
Trailblazers played pretty bad as favorites.
That's why I am going.
I'm gonna go Trailblazers,
and they just got the win against Houston, so I am going Nuggets over this.
I'm gonna go Blazers
because I think they match up. These two teams are funny. I think they match up.
They do match up.
If they saw each other in the playoffs, this would go 7.
Yeah,
I think they match up, and it's gonna be fun to see. Oh, we won't get to watch it because I don't know what ALT is, but I don't know what channel that is. But it would be fun to see Nurkic and Jokic go back at it. Former teammates. Trailblazers traded for the other one. And so, but hopefully, I want Nurkic to have just as good as a career as Jokic. Obviously, Jokic is way better.
Yeah.
But Nurkic is, if he gets back healthy, he can have a successful NBA career.
Agreed.
Final game on the docket for today, and we'll cut to break. Lakers, Rockets. Oh, I think the Lakers' woes continue. I'm going Rockets.
I'm going Rockets. Yeah. I think the Rockets have just gotten so many clean looks. They just need their shooters to hit them.
But I do think AD might have a bounce back game and score 50.
Yeah, I guess LeBron's the swing for me. He's just got to play better.
Well, I think the role players are the swing for me.
Yeah.
And the Lakers role players they don't have anybody to guard Westbrook and Harden.
Well, so when I assume they'll play
when
poorly.
I say AD is going to go off for 40, I think Westbrook and Harden both go off for 50. And LeBron looks like he's not scoring anytime soon. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll finish up with Friday's games and Saturday's games, and then hopefully we'll talk about other news other than basketball. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, take this moment to like and subscribe. And also follow us on the Instagram and Twitter at Curbside Entertainment and at Curbside Network, respectively. You can also find us on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to X and O's Evan and Bros. I'm your most gracious host, Evan. Joining me at the desk is Mr. Eldad. Sailor. All right, so we're on Saturday's picks, right? So we got Clippers, Trailblazers.
Blazers.
I'm going to Blazers as well because I'm alternating. So now they get their win, and then Clippers lose this one. Jazz, Nuggets. I'm going Nuggets.
That's a weird matchup.
It is a weird matchup.
I'm going Jazz.
That's fair. You think
I
think Mitchell goes off?
I think the Jazz have just looked terrible, but this is it.
Yeah, I'm going Nuggets, Jazz. I could see Jokic. I don't know. They got Gobert, but Ayton put up. I'm questioning everything. But AD put up 40 on Gobert, so it's like
Gobert played good defense though. AD hit a lot of tough shots. It is what it is.
Lakers, Pacers. I'll let you go.
Lakers.
Lakers.
I think TJ Warren does it.
I had them losing,
Yeah.
I got to go Lakers as well. No, I don't think TJ Warren has it for this one. Suns Heat. Damn.
Wow.
The it's good that we're having problems picking these games because
they're competitive.
They've been so competitive. I had the Suns losing. I had the Suns winning this game against the Heat.
I have the Heat. I think I'm assuming Jimmy's back by then.
Yeah. Saturday.
Yeah.
You would hope. All right. Last game for the Saturday pick'em. We got Bucks, Mavs. I'm going. I don't think I haven't picked against the Bucks once this. ESPN 8:30. Have we agreed on one pick on Saturday?
Oh, yeah. We agreed on Lakers and Blazers.
I'm going Mavs.
Mavs. I'm going to go Bucks. I think Giannis beats Boban. It's my matchup of the day.
That's the matchup of the day? God. All right. So we're done with that. We have spent so long on NBA today. So we're going to move on. We got some breaking news. Eldad, take it away.
Penn State will be playing football without fans.
So this is the first, and this kind of plays off the who just canceled their football season.
UConn. But they weren't really playing football anyways.
Well,
it's okay.
Still.
0 wins. It is.
And they are more of a basketball.
Yeah.
Both women's and men's.
Yeah.
More notably the women's, at least recently.
Yeah.
More consistently.
Yeah.
They are a basketball school. UConn is. And so they canceled their upcoming football season. Did not cancel basketball yet. So it'll be interesting to see when that starts. If they've I'm sure these leagues are tackling one league at a time, one season at a time. But it is a big deal that they canceled. Could you see a lot of these? Now, UConn's in the Big East, right? Or there is no longer a Big East?
No, they're in the American.
The American.
Because they have the civil conflict rivalry with
Well, that's going to have to change name because it has the word civil in it.
It's going to have to change name because it sucks.
Whole rebranding. Washington, formerly the Washington football team, is going through that right now. But this is a big deal because I think you could see a lot of these teams that what are we actually playing for? Because you saw Division III and Division II both cancel their championships.
Yeah.
So why the hell are they playing?
Huge. Yeah. Did they just cancel championships?
Their postseason.
That's so stupid. People are good. That doesn't make sense.
So
why would you cancel just that?
But
how does that stop the spread of corona?
But why do you play?
I guess because you're D2 and it's your last year. I mean, if you have a red shirt, take it.
But like,
I don't get.
Say because D2 and D3, some players get drafted.
Yeah.
There are cases.
Yeah.
We saw the Patriots take a D2 player, right?
Yeah.
Second round.
I think so, yeah.
Safety.
Out of Lenore Ryan.
Yeah. So, but you're probably already on draft board radars.
Yeah.
I'm
like
guessing.
The North Dakota State guy, I think, Trey Lance.
Yeah. So.
Well, he's FCS, I guess.
Why wouldn't you, if you're already on the radar, you're not playing for draft stock. I'm not playing at all.
No,
because there's no ship. That's stupid. I'm getting ready for the draft. I'm dropping out of college or whatever, or finishing my degree in the fall, and I'm training for the NFL draft or the NFL Combine if you get invited.
I mean, we've seen this in the FBS where they haven't even canceled their championship, but like Rashad Bateman said, I'm done. The Virginia Tech corner, I think Caleb Fairley.
We talked about that.
Yeah, both projected first rounders just saying, no, why would I play?
Well, why would you play anyway? In a lot of cases when you're already projected first round.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people ruin their draft stock. Look at Jake Fromm. Think about Jake Fromm did not play a single down in college football his last year. Could have been a top 5 quarterback.
For no reason.
It would have been crazy.
It would have been crazy. Some team would have been pissed when they drafted him, and then he said those comments.
Well, the text messages.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a college kid. I mean, the amount of stupid shit that college
Yeah.
people say, and then it's
Would have been a much bigger deal if he was a top 5 quarterback.
would have been a much bigger deal. But he won't be starting for the Bills ever because Josh Allen. But with Penn State taking out fans, Division III and Division II canceling championships, and then it was funny. Division III canceled it first, the report, and then like an hour later, Division II canceled
Just
it.
moves up.
Yeah, it was all the divisions were following suit. What does it mean for Division I and FBS? It'd be telling to see what FCS does.
Yeah.
Because that's next in line, really, if you're following that pyramid.
T3, yeah.
So if FCS comes out and says
No postseason. Which is like their biggest thing. Like an entire playoff.
I don't know, man. We're getting closer and closer. We're in August now. They pushed, I think the start of football is like mid-September.
Yeah.
Ohio State just released their cupcake of a schedule. So Barstool Bama commented on it.
I saw
then
you like that.
And then LSU Barstool commented on it as well. But I don't know. This is such an interesting predicament we're in because you can't, if you don't do a bubble type scenario, people are probably going to get sick.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you can't really put the world on hold. And players I think what a lot of players who you've seen opt out are more concerned for their families than they are for themselves.
Yeah, and like the NFL. Yeah. I think Tre'Davious White is about to opt out, though, if he didn't already today.
Really?
Yeah, based on his Twitter.
So, I don't know, man. It's because other jobs are going back to work. And NFL players or football players especially are way more at risk at other. Look at Jonathan Isaac. He's out for the year, not because of COVID, because of a torn ACL.
Yeah. There have been a lot of scary falls in Orlando. I don't know if it's just because people are rusty, but man.
Football players are at more of it wasn't even a fall. He was driving to the lane.
No, but like Steven Adams against the Lakers. I don't know how his entire knee didn't just die there.
But Penn State eliminating fans, what's the revenue like? What's that doing? Is it more costly to put on a football game? I guess, I don't know.
It'd be pretty close.
I guess TV money isn't maybe enough.
Yeah. But the football, you need like a massive football revenue just to cover your other sports most of the time, as we saw with like Stanford and all them. So I don't know.
I would hate to be an athletic director right now.
Yeah. Pretty bad time.
I
would hate to be a player. I would hate to be involved in anything right now.
Yeah. Hey, college graduates, am I right?
Yeah, I know. They're going back to school like
2 weeks.
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
I think a lot of classes have switched over to online as well.
Kennesaw State went online without telling anybody.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it because Kennesaw State was trending, and I was like, oh no. And they were like, why did we find out through Twitter? Why hasn't Kennesaw emailed?
That's funny. Yeah, I think probably a lot of these universities left it up to the professor's discretion.
Yeah, I think so. I'm telling you, I had some old professors during my. I would not want them teaching in person.
But if you think about it, also the professors really aren't at risk because one, a lot of assignments are submitted online anyway. So it's not like you're handing in papers that are being touched by multiple people.
Yeah, but in those like small classrooms.
But still, they are at more than 6 feet away usually. Because I was in some congested classrooms.
Yeah.
So the students are really more at risk than the professors are.
Yeah.
Now, yes, professors are usually older.
Yeah. If they get sick, it's bad.
If they get sick, it's bad. But I think they have at least chance of getting sick than say a student does.
Yeah.
But so Cole works at Ramsey, and I used to work there, and they had a whole staff meeting, and he was telling me some of the rules that Ramsey is installing. So he was saying how if you're not working out, up until the moment that you are not working out, you have to wear a mask inside Ramsey. Now, Ramsey's different from the university because it's private.
Yeah.
So they have their own set of rules.
Yeah.
So if you're not working out, you have to wear a mask. Now, if you know how there's a track upstairs.
Yeah.
So if you're walking,
You got to wear a mask.
you have to wear a mask. But if you're running,
No mask.
no mask. So the question is, how do you defer? How do you?
Aren't you breathing heavier if you're running?
Well, you are. So, but like it'll be harder to wear a mask. But like, how do you question if somebody's running, or how do you tell if somebody's running or if somebody's walking?
It's just a guy up there like, hey,
It's you're trying
pick up the pace, man.
That's what he was saying. How it's like they said, well, you just have to see how hard they're working. And so I guess if like somebody's like huffing and puffing in a main walk, then it's like you gotta take that mask off, bro, or they're gonna pass out. But it's like how hard they're trying, and I think that's hilarious.
Is Ramsey, are they going to be at like limited capacity?
I guess. I mean,
Because that's not going to work. I mean, it was.
And also,
That's
you're
a
telling
packed
me
place.
you're telling me you're going to have somebody upstairs monitoring the track and questioning somebody if they're trying hard enough or not?
None of these rules are getting enforced.
No.
No.
I mean, the minute you walk through the front desk, you're probably clean.
Yeah.
You walk in with the mask, there it goes
In the trash.
in the trash.
Which is why college football might not happen.
Which is why no fans. I mean, it'd be. I don't know. It would be. It's going. I like watching football from a couch, from a TV.
Yeah.
So I'm not affected as much.
But it's
And
still,
with
you like
football,
to hear the fans, though.
It's very different, though, than
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
Because basketball's all about momentum. Well, every sport's about momentum. But fans make it, I think, impact a basketball game way more than they impact a football game. Unless you're doing like a last-second field goal. Maybe
Yeah.
that will pressure you.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how high-scoring a lot of these games are. If they are. Because you don't have the influence of the crowd. At least Penn State. But I think you might see a lot of other schools follow suit now.
I think so.
Penn State's a big program.
Yeah.
So, seeing them do this,
It's not UConn.
it's not UConn, but they aren't canceling this season, and we haven't heard, as far as my knowledge, we haven't heard anything about FBS postseason.
No.
I think bowl games will be canceled.
You think so?
Yeah,
Just national championship?
yeah, just the playoffs.
And why are like most teams playing, you know?
Well, I mean, most high-key players, high notoriety players don't even play bowl games anymore anyway.
That's true. I guess if there's really no bowl games, then
I mean, I'm not mad. I don't watch the bowl games. I really don't give a shit.
hey, bowl games have some classics though.
Yeah, they do. The big ones, though.
No. Cheez-It Bowl like 2 or 3 years ago. They missed like 30 field goals. It was great.
But now, with no fans, maybe they'll hit every field goal.
You know Alabama won't. You can hope as much as you want.
This is the best thing for Alabama football that could possibly happen. If I'm Nick Saban right now, I'm calling my AD and I'm like, dude, no fans. Make it right now. Seriously, no fans. Yeah, so college football is going to be kind of weird right now. Again, it's like, what do you value more, player safety or the revenue? But obviously, people want money.
Well, it looks like the Pac-12 is about to fall apart
Why?
with the players like
Oh, well, winning.
list of demands. Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't have a union. So how can they?
I mean, you got to just have every player buy in.
I just don't know how they
Or at least every
demand
big
or
player.
ask for, insurance basically. Because it's different because I don't know. Like, are you because these players aren't really at risk. You know what the problem is? I was thinking about this because a lot of Georgia schools went back to school this week.
Yeah. There's some great pictures of high schools out right now.
Yeah, the whole Columbia County wanted everybody to know that everybody's masked up. And it looks like I went to Lakeside. It looks like Lakeside's been doing pretty good. They were showing off a lot of pictures of the hallway, but of course they're going to post photos that you want them to see.
Yeah, they were like, hey, maskless kid.
Go.
What are you doing?
Put him in the locker. So I don't know. I'm not in there, so I don't know how it's really working. But we are taught throughout our schooling, all the way through elementary school, all the way through high school, do not miss. If you're sick, you got to still come through.
If you're dying, pull up.
Pull up. That's what we're taught.
Yeah.
They literally give you awards for perfect attendance.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't want you to. So even if a kid is experiencing symptoms, he's still going to go to school.
He's still going to go. Yeah.
Because that's what we're taught.
Yeah.
Luckily, I never got sick really throughout school. If I missed, it's just because fuck it. But so I never really got sick. But for people who did get sick, we're still taught you got to go to school.
Yeah.
What is it? What's your fever? 99.3. Oh, you're fine.
Good enough.
Good enough. So if a kid is experiencing some symptoms of COVID,
still going to show up.
He's still going to show up because you really don't experience it. You don't really experience the severe of the symptoms till like day 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by that time, you already been in school. It's probably the weekend by that time. Say you catch it Monday, by Friday, by Saturday, that's when you're really terrible.
You've already exposed like everybody you know to it. Are we still doing high school football? Is that
that's still in the state of Georgia. That's still good to go. They're practicing.
I hope they release those numbers
of high school students. Well, so Maryland, Mike Locksley forms national coalition to identify and groom coaches of color. Good for Mike Locksley. I always like Mike. He was the OC at that news just dropped, and so that's why I'm sharing it. But he was a great OC for Bama. He used to be over at Terrapin. He came back. I think he's a Maryland guy through and through. So good for him. Yeah, I think that's good. Good for forming a group. But what is? I don't understand how do you get into coaching as a profession? What defines somebody that's a really good coach from somebody, because it's all X's and O's. You can all learn this stuff
with Evan and Bros,
but everybody's scheme's different. Everybody's whole thing's different. It just depends if it works or not. I guess if you're grooming more male and female individuals into the coaching sphere, then they're more likely to get hired into other positions.
Yeah, yeah,
which is good. I just don't know how the coaching field's so weird, because it like any job, it's who you know.
Yeah,
that's why like Nick Saban's whole coaching tree gets hired away every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
that's why lineage matters.
Yeah,
you don't really think it does, but it's really a family tree. So does Mike have the history,
the pedigree,
to
get them all hired,
to send them off and have them? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe offensively he might. It's good that he's doing this, but I don't know if it solves the problem, because just like anything, it's who you know, and these guys still need to get hired to these bigger programs to work under these coaching trees.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess technically Mike's part of the Saban tree now, so I guess that gives it some notoriety, but still, I don't know. Coaching is weird, because it seems like some guys can have terrible year after terrible year, but get rehired.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also the turnover is so fast where it's like if you don't have a really good year, you possibly on a hot seat. It just depends where you are.
Yeah.
I guess. Depends on the program. Some programs give you more patience and more time versus others. So, coaching can be so hard to be into. It's a career field I would never want to be in because, again, I know my X's and O's. But it's such a scary thing to be in.
Yeah.
Any type of, whether you're in professional or amateur, because those get turnover as well. Because college coaches are paid like NFL coaches nowadays. Yeah. Especially if you have some early success or
if you're one of the top guys,
you're making bank. You're probably the highest pay. Because think about Bama. Bama doesn't have any pro sports in the state.
Yeah.
So Nick Saban's the highest public paid employee in the state.
Yep.
That's absurd. That's crazy. And I'm sure that's the same way for Oklahoma. No NFL team. So their football is everything.
And Lincoln Riley's going to get a blank check. Over and over and over.
Over and over again. Bobby Boy experienced the same thing. So, but I think with the way the contracts are now, he will definitely experience. And I think he can say the same. Obviously, Ohio has, but Ohio State almost runs that.
Yeah.
Not just that city, but almost the state.
Yeah.
Just because the football in the other two cities have been terrible. So do you think how do you think this whole college football thing is going to pan out?
I think they're not going to cancel the season just because
FBS?
Yeah. Just because there's so much money there. I don't know. I mean, I think they should. If you get these kids sick and things just go south, there's no way of coming back from that.
Well, and that's the thing. It's not that these kids can't recover from it.
Yeah.
It's just what if one doesn't?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big thing. But then again, when you play a sport that your life is almost at risk.
Yeah, but it's different.
But is it that different?
Yeah,
that's why football is such a hard one to make a case for.
Because you already are risking a lot.
Because you're already risking a lot. It's not like tennis or even basketball. Obviously, Jonathan Isaac, and you know, you can get injured playing basketball.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't. But it's not like you are.
It's not potentially life-ending or life-crippling.
Yeah. So it's such a weird case.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't have the answers.
It would suck to be a player. It would suck to be an AD. Suck to be a coach. It just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it would suck to be in the sports world versus like talking about it. Real quick, we're going to discuss Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He has a hit show, Ballers, on HBO. It's coming to an end, sadly. Or if it hasn't already. I think they're in their final season. He just bought the XFL. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, famous WWE superstar. Played for the Miami Hurricanes, defensive end. Heard he sucked. Tried to go the NFL route. Played in Canada for a little bit. Just wasn't a good football player. Don't know why. Dude's built like a Greek sculpture. And athletic, obviously, to be in the WWE.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it never worked out for him. Really don't know. But he bought the XFL. I don't know really what this means. It's an interesting investment, to say the least, because it didn't really pan out for Vince. So,
but I think it was doing well before Corona kind of killed it. I don't know. It is a weird deal. Do you know how much was it that he that they paid for it? Did they say?
I think they did say. Hold on, let me find it. Let me find it. So, 15 mil. Which does not sound like a lot to me.
But it also kind of does sound like a lot because it is like a league that is not functional.
Yeah, but
right
he
now.
makes 15 mil on one movie.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it just doesn't, I don't know. It just doesn't seem, to Dwayne, it sounds like pocket change.
It is fairly low risk for him. It's weird to say that 15 mil is like low risk, but pretty high reward if it does pan out.
If it does pan out.
Yeah.
But it's probably where the NFL has such a monopoly on the business, and same for a lot of these leagues, NBA, MLB.
Yeah.
It's hard to create a rival league. But he comes, we were talking about this yesterday, he comes from history of the WWE where there was the WCW. Now there's the AEW where there's these off-brand companies rivaling the big monopoly. And they kind of do find their niche and they find their success.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So I think he's coming from that side where he sees it from the wrestling world. But again, it's still tough because I think those are interesting because, again, they are fake where you can create storylines to make them interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where this is still professional sports where you can't make storylines. You are dependent on your players. And if they can't get, I mean, maybe if they go out and get Antonio Brown, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
something like that.
Yeah, but going for NFL rejects, this doesn't seem like.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's hard. It's hard because you need to have these star players to promote your brand. That's why, the NFL tries to say it's the shield, but still it looks like more than ever. There's the reason why these leagues don't pan out. It's because they don't have the players.
Yeah.
And that's why the NFL succeeds because guess what? You do have the players.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe Dwayne can recruit. I don't know. Maybe. But as long as the NFL has Patrick Mahomes, it's not going anywhere.
Well, I don't think the XFL even has goals of rivaling the NFL. I think they're just trying to find a niche somewhere between people who want to watch college football, but I guess at a slightly higher level.
Maybe.
But don't want to watch NFL.
Yeah, maybe. All right, everybody. That is this week's episode of Friday's episode of Exodus of the Evan and Bros. This is, if you think about it real quick, 13th episode coming out on Friday the 13th. Crazy.
I think you're going to do the scary sound effect.
Peace.